You know, as we inch closer towards Halloween, I can't help but think about some of the great, iconic horror films that do not have 4K upgrades. Horror films that have been stuck on Blu-ray for the past 10, 15 years. So today, allow me to vent with you guys. It's gonna get heated. I can promise you that. Allow me to vent. Allow me to get frustrated about the fact that we do not have these horror films on 4K. I'm pissed, guys. Let's do it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mid-Level Media. And before we get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm just getting all this stuff out of the way, guys, because things are about to get heated. We are about to get into it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I am upset. I am upset today. I am on one because we are in the midst of the spooky season, the holiday season, the October physical media season, where we're supposed to be getting all of these great 4K upgrades for some of the greatest iconic horror films of all time. And I just don't feel like we're getting it this month. Like, we've had some good releases. We had The Wicker Man, we had Rosemary's Baby, Pumpkinhead. There's been good stuff that's come out this October. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going through all of these Blu-rays in my collection. I just can't believe that some of these studios just let some of these slip by and didn't upgrade these to 4K. Like, to me, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So there's just so much, guys. We've gotten so much. Look, I'm not going to say that we're not spoiled with physical media and 4K upgrades. We've gotten a ton of great 4K upgrades for some of the greatest horror movies of all time. But there's just still so many that need to be done, that need to be upgraded to the 4K format. So look, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm not usually this heated. I'm not usually this pissed off in my videos. See, that we're going to go there in today's video. But we talk about physical media mostly, Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. And guys, comment down below. I'm sure I'm going to miss some titles that you're super passionate about, that you want on 4K. Let me know in the comment section below. So look, we've got some heavy hitters here to talk about, some titles that are just flat out ridiculous that they do not have a 4K yet. And some of the titles that we're going to go into are just more like personal choices, ones that I really want to see on 4K. So you might think to yourself, Ken, you know, I don't need that on 4K. I'm fine with the Blu-ray. But look, for the purposes of this video, I've got like 25 titles right here to talk about. So we're going to get into it because I just think it's kind of ridiculous, especially with at least 10 of these. Like I said, things are going to get hot. I'm going to be completely unfiltered all over the place like I always am. But it's, look, if you have an issue with language and just watching a near 40-year-old man cry like a baby on camera, throw a temper tantrum, if you will, then you might not want to watch this video. But let's get into it. Let's start off with ReAnimator. Come on, ReAnimator. Like, Arrow Video did this Blu-ray. This is the Steelbook right here. Like, this is from 1985. It's one of the most iconic horror films of the 80s, you know, directed by Stuart Gordon, starring Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton's in this movie. It would look absolutely beautiful in 4K. Did Arrow Video lose the rights to this? Like, I don't know. I'm going to be calling some studios out. I'm going to be calling some boutique labels. How has Arrow Video not done ReAnimator on 4K, released a nice box set? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But ReAnimator absolutely 100% needs a 4K, like, immediately. Let's get into this one. Look, this has never been one of my personal favorite horror films of all time. I think it's okay. Admittedly, I might need to rewatch it. It's been a few years since I watched it, but this is no doubt a classic horror film that needs a 4K. I know the reason why it doesn't. But The Omen from 1968, directed by the great Richard Donner. Like, this is a classic horror film, maybe one of the most classic horror films of all time. And I feel like it's the last, like, big classic horror film that does not have a 4K. Like, we have one for Amity. We just got one for The Exorcist. We got one for Wicker Man. We got one for Rosemary's Baby. Like, I feel like this is the last big holdout of that classic, like, 60s, 70s era of horror films, at least like the big ones. I'm pretty sure this movie did really well at the box office, but like I said, never been one of my personal favorites. I think it's okay. It's not a bad film by any means, but a lot of people love this, and a lot of people would love to get this on 4K. Now, the bad thing about it is this, and Scream Factory put this out in a box set, but I think at that time, Scream Factory was able to put stuff out from 20th Century Fox, who owns this film that is now owned by Disney. So are we going to get The Omen on 4K from Disney? I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Like Disney seems to be, they did this whole thing about making this big push for physical media. They're releasing Prey on 4K, the Marvel shows, the Star Wars shows, all this stuff. I just don't feel like, I know they're going to put some of the Cameron stuff out soon, but I just don't feel like they're going to reach this far back and pull out. I just don't feel like anybody at Disney even probably has seen this movie, to be honest. Look, there's nothing but kids working at Disney, probably 20 to 30-year-old kids. They don't give a shit about the Omen. They don't give a shit about the Omen. Like, they may know about some of James Cameron's films from back in the day, like Terminator and The Abyss and all that kind of stuff, but they don't give a damn about the Omen. They don't. That's the cold, hard truth. Like, nobody at Disney gives a damn about the Omen. So I don't think we're going to get the Omen on 4K, and it sucks. And Disney, you suck. I don't care. I'm calling everybody out today. I don't care. The Omen needs a 4K though. Even though, look, I'm pulling for the Omen. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I'm still pulling for it. It needs a 4K. It's a classic horror film. All right, guys, look. This is ridiculous. Somebody put this out. Paramount Lionsgate. I'm not exactly sure who has the rights, but The Faculty, like, we need this on 4K. Like, this would be a beautiful, like, second sight 4K edition if they wanted to do it, but Scream Factory could do a collector's edition. I've heard rumors that this might be a title on the next Paramount Scares box set, so I don't care who does it, Paramount, Lionsgate, because I think Lionsgate might be on the back of this. Yeah, Lionsgate's on the back of this, but I know that Paramount did it as well, because the whole Miramax, like, I don't know, the rights seem to be shifting back from Paramount to Lionsgate. It's a whole thing, but this is a Miramax film, and whether it's a Lionsgate Steelbook, a Paramount Steelbook, somebody do something with The Faculty, release this film on 4K. It would be awesome. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies from the 90s. Poltergeist 2. Come on, we got the first one. Can we get the second one on 4K? The second one is awesome. Like, everybody loves the second one. Did Warner Brothers do this one? I'm trying to look. No, it's an MGM title, but Warner Brothers may own the rights to this one. I mean, they have the rights to the first one, so I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. But Poltergeist 2, 100%. We need Reverend Kane in 4K. It needs a 4K. You guys are gonna think I'm silly for talking about these movies, but the first movie in particular, it holds its place in horror history in the 90s at least. This is an iconic horror character, and he needs to be on 4K at least for one movie. The first one, Leprechaun, needs a 4K. Of course Leprechaun needs a 4K. Like, he would look fantastic in 4K. We need at least the first Leprechaun. I'm not calling for the second, third, fourth, all that. Some people might want that. I mean, we have all the Chucky films. Why not the Leprechaun series? But I just want the first one. Jennifer Aniston. It's a classic 90s horror movie for me. I love it, and I want it on 4K. The Crow. Look, this is it's not straight horror, but it's horror adjacent, so I thought I would talk about it. Now, there's been rumors of The Crow coming to 4K. I'm sure that we're going to get it at some point. The 30th anniversary is next year. I think it came out in 1994, so it would make sense, but yeah, Lionsgate, whoever has this is also a Miramax title, Paramount, whoever, I don't care. Somebody put The Crow out on 4K. It's ridiculous that we don't have it already. Like, why would you wait for an anniversary for The Crow? Like, this is the freaking Crow, for crying out loud. Like, put this movie out on 4K. What are you freaking waiting for, you idiots? God. I'm sorry, guys. Let's say the Conjuring movies. Like, why did the Conjuring, the devil made me do it, whatever it's called, Conjuring 3? Why does that have a 4K, but we don't have a 4K for these two classic modern horror films? Like, this is ridiculous. This is Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers, you're dumbasses. Why wouldn't you put both the Conjuring movies on 4K? This is freaking ridiculous. I'm never getting sent anything from Warner Brothers ever again after this video. I don't even have this out of the plastic yet, so I think the last time I've seen this movie is on DVD, to be honest. But The Descent, like, this is one of my favorite modern horror films. I actually think this is the best horror film of the 2000s, from 2000 to 2009. Well, maybe Paranormal Activity might edge it out a little bit, but I really love the first Paranormal Activity, which I'm not going to group into this. There are some movies that I think are fine on Blu-ray. Paranormal Activity, anything found footage is probably fine on Blu-ray, but The Descent, like the setting, the cave setting, like with the black light and all that stuff, and the bloody nature of the movie, and just all the blood and guts and gore at the end of the movie, this would look insanely good on 4K. So we need this on 4K. My pick would be Second Sight. Like, Second Sight, take this and do a nice 4K big box set edition. I know it would sell like This is at this point, it's an iconic horror film, I think, for the 2000s. A lot of people talk about this one as being one of the most underrated. It was in the theaters. I mean, me and my wife saw this movie in the theaters. I will love it on 4K. We need it. Don't Breathe. This is a great horror film from the 2010s. Came out, I think, the same year as The Conjuring 2, 2016, directed by Fede Alvarez. We already have one of his films on 4K with Evil Dead from 2013. I think The Girl with the Spider Tattoo or whatever that film he directed is also on 4K. But we have the second, Don't Breathe, on 4K. Like, why would you not go back and do the first one on 4K? It doesn't make any sense. We need it. You know, the Final Destination movies. I hear a lot of people calling these out a lot. I don't necessarily need them on 4K. I'm more or less doing this for you all out there that want these on 4K. I'm kind of fine with these on Blu-ray, but then again, I want everything on 4K. So why not? Do the Final Destination movies, and I just have 1 and 2 here, but I actually think the third one, which is my personal favorite, will look awesome on 4K. So, but yeah, that's 1 and 2. We need them on 4K, we do. And just to complete the Halloween collection in 4K, like we need the Rob Zombie movies on 4K, like Halloween 2 and Halloween, you know, from 2007. I know these movies don't have, they definitely have their fans, but they also have their haters as well, especially for the second one, which I actually hate this movie. I hate his first movie. And actually, if you're wondering where I got these custom-made slipcovers, somebody sent these to me. But I hate this one. I hate the origin story. I actually like Halloween 2 quite a bit. And I think that this one will actually look pretty damn good in 4K. I think they both would, really, because they really just have that filmic quality to them. But and I think that Rob Zombie directs really visually appealing films. We'll talk about another one of his films a little bit later on. But I think both of these will look great on 4K. I don't know what the holdup is. I know it's a Miramax kind of thing, whether or not Lionsgate owns these or Paramount or whoever owns these. I don't know. Maybe we'll get Lionsgate steelbooks for them, but I don't know if Scream Factory is going to be the one to put them out. Who knows? But we need them on 4K. I don't know if Rob Zombie himself doesn't want to put them out on 4K. Who knows? But we need these movies on 4K just to complete the collection. I've got every single Halloween movie on 4K, but these two. And it makes me angry. It drives my OCD nuts. All right, so I'm going to try to get through these as fast as I can, guys. There's going to be a lot more ranting. I've got a few other big titles that I'm just pissed about, just thinking about them. But In the Mouth of Madness, I've been calling for this one to get a 4K. I'm sure that it will at some point, but I just don't know why we don't already have this, because Prince of Darkness got one, and The Thing, of course, got a 4K. We need the conclusion of the Apocalypse Trilogy, John Carpenter's Apocalypse Trilogy in 4K. So we need In the Mouth of Madness. Scream Factory seems to be updating and upgrading all of the John Carpenter films to 4K. So I feel like this one is a pretty good possibility. If not, you know, next year, definitely the year after that, who knows. But In the Mouth of Madness, I love it. It's a personal favorite John Carpenter movie of mine, and I think it would look fantastic on 4K. Sleepaway Camp. We need all three of them. The first three Sleepaway Camp movies. Sorry guys, I can't talk sometimes. We need them on 4K. Like, they're camp slashers. I think they would look beautiful in 4K, and I selfishly just want Scream Factory to put them out because I missed out on 2 and 3 and all of them with the slipcover. So I want them to do special collector's editions with slipcovers so I can have all 3 of them in my collection. I think there's a 4th one, but I don't think they did the 4th one the first time around. But Sleepaway Camp movies, we need them. Scream Factory, give them to us. What are you waiting for? God damn it. Death Becomes Her. Robert Zemeckis film. Again, well, this is kind of a horror movie. I can see how you could put it. It's kind of a supernatural kind of horror movie, but I love this movie. I bring it up as often as I can because I just love it so much, and I think it's one of Robert Zemeckis' most underrated movies. You know, Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, they're all excellent in this movie, and this is one that I think would look beautiful in 4K. So we need the 4K upgrade. I don't know if Scream Factory would do it or Universal did this film, so maybe they'd be the ones to do it, but it would be awesome to get that on 4K. It from 1990. I heard a rumor about this one potentially coming to 4K, but it's just like, what are you guys waiting on? Do It from 1990. This is iconic. I know it's a TV movie, but it is probably, I would honestly say, one of the, if not the most iconic TV movies of all time. Maybe the best TV movie that has ever come out. Everybody watched this movie, and everybody remembers this movie watching it on TV. So I kind of think it transcends, you know, being a TV movie and just being a really great classic horror film that people remember from 1990. It was an event when it came out. Like, everybody was gathered around the TV. I remember my family members watched it, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, It from 1990. Tim Curry, we need him in 4K for sure. All right, so we'll talk about Rob Zombie again. House of a Thousand Corpses. This was just such a baffling missed opportunity earlier this year when they did House of a Thousand Corpses. They did that box set. They did this Lionsgate Steelbook, which they usually always do these in 4K, but for some reason for the Rob Zombie films, we just get them on Blu-ray. So I don't know what the deal is. Again, it could be Rob Zombie that doesn't want to do 4K upgrades for his movies, but this movie, and not that the Blu-ray doesn't look really good, it does, but this movie will look freaking awesome on 4K. So I will love House of a Thousand Corpses on 4K for sure. All right, this one, let's get pissed off together and just rant on Disney again. The Fly. The Fly does not have a 4K. Like, this would look gorgeous. Like all of the disgusting body horror and just the transformation and what his body goes through and all the disgusting pus and bug juice coming out of his head. Like all that stuff would look great on 4K. But unfortunately, like I said, 20th Century Fox, Scream Factory put this out, I guess, when they had a partnership with them, but now owned by Disney. So do you think, excuse my language, do you think that anybody that works at Disney that's only concerned with Marvel films and TV shows and Star Wars and when are we going to put out the next Book of Boba Fett season? Do you think any of those fuckers care about The Fly? I don't think they do. I just don't think that anybody that works at Disney gives a flying fuck, that matters anyway, about The Fly. So I don't think we'll ever get The Fly on 4K, and it's sad and it sucks because this is the best we'll ever get and see The Fly, and I hate it. Sorry guys, look, I told you, I warned you in the beginning, like it was gonna get heated, and it really is. Grindhouse. You know, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, you know, you got this double pack Blu-ray right here, but we need a 4K of both these movies. They would look freaking awesome. And we need a 4K edition with them cut together. You know, I know Imprint just released one, or I think, God, not Imprint, but Viavision just released the collector's set. And they lied on this one. They said it was cut together when it's not. They're actually on two different discs, but we need a 4K cut together, and there you go. But yeah, that's Grindhouse. We need it on 4K. And God, I'm not going to say anything else about Disney. I'm not. But The Sixth Sense, like, we need this. This is a classic horror M. Night Shyamalan film, late 90s. Like, why do we not have this on 4K? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I feel like people that work at Disney know about The Sixth Sense. I feel like we may get this at some point. But yeah, I don't know. The Sixth Sense, though, we need that on 4K in the worst way. And Signs, too. I didn't bring it over here because I kind of lumped that into sci-fi horror, which is still horror, but we need Signs as well, which is also Disney because I think that was Hollywood Pictures. Revenge. This is a movie that I love. I'm not too upset about this one. Some of these I'm not upset about. I just want them on 4K. I know Second Sight did a beautiful Blu-ray edition. I would love for them to come back and redo that in 4K and give us a nice edition of this movie on 4K. I think it will look excellent on 4K. Just the outdoor settings of this film would really lend itself well to the 4K. There's just some stunning visuals in this film. It's probably one of my favorite films in general the past 5 years, really. But Revenge, that needs a 4K for sure. You're Next, directed by Adam Wingard. We got The Guest, which is an Adam Wingard film from Second Sight. So I think that we should get You're Next from Second Sight as well. I'm always promoting Second Sight. I want Second Sight to like do everything. That would get very expensive though on the wallet. Like if we started to get all these movies on 4K from Second Sight, but there are certain ones that I just feel like would make good Second Sight releases. Like It Follows, You're Next, The Guest. Like I remember watching all those movies around the same time, and they just all kind of, you know, give me that similar vibe and feeling. So I want this from Second Sight as well. I would be happy if like Arrow Video or Scream Factory did this one, but Second Sight would be my choice for You're Next, which is a great home invasion slasher that came out, I believe in 2013 that came out. Trick or Treat. Like, why do we not have Trick or Treat? What are you doing, Scream Factory? Like, this is so strange. Like, who owns the rights to this? Like, Scream Factory has to still have the rights to this. They didn't give it up, did they? Like, why did you all not put that out this year? Like, I get it. Pumpkinhead, Night of the Demons. Like, that's cool. Those are two Halloween-centric titles, but like you all could have easily put out Trick or Treat as well on 4K this year. Like, I don't get why you didn't. Maybe you're trying to wait for Trick or Treat 2 to come out to time it together. I don't know, but Trick or Treat, we need that on 4K. It will look incredible. And Friday the 13th, like Paramount, what are you doing? Like, I'm going to call out Paramount now. I've called out Disney. I've called out Warner Brothers. let me call out Paramount real quick. What do you, get your heads out of your asses. What are you all doing? Give us Friday the 13th Part 2. There's a 4K scan. Screen Factory did 4K scans of all these. Friday the 13th Part 3. And Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Like, why do we not have these on 4K right now? These all three should have came out this October. The week of Friday the 13th, all three of these should have came out on 4K together. Yes, not just one, not just Part 2. All three of these should have came out on 4K this month. It's ridiculous that it didn't. Absolutely ridiculous that it didn't. Like, why did you re-release the first one in a steelbook? You did the first one last year. Everybody hated it. Is that why we didn't get those? Because everybody bitched about it? You know, I thought it was pretty good. I like the Friday the 13th 4K, but it just, it's baffling. Why? I don't get it. Some people are going to complain that I'm bringing this one up, and some people are going to be like, hell yeah, we need that on 4K, Ken, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. It's never been one of my personal favorites, but Jeepers Creepers, a lot of people call this one out. We need a 4K of this one, whether it's Screen Factory, I don't know. I feel like nobody will want to touch this one though. And look, I said this in my Rosemary's Baby review. Like, I really try to separate the art from the artist. So, you know, Victor Salva's a piece of shit. We all know that, but there are tons of people that worked on this film outside of Victor Salva. So why does it not deserve to be preserved in the best possible format? Because of one shitty guy that was involved in making this film. Yes, he was the head guy. He was the director, and I think writer as well, right? But you know, that shouldn't matter. But it's a movie. It has its place in history. It has its fans. People want this movie on 4K, so put it out on 4K, you cowards. And now that I'm looking at the back of it, I'm seeing 20th Century Fox. So good luck. We're not getting this movie on 4K ever. Disney would never touch that. Never touch that. So I'm going to poke A24 a little bit. Why didn't you all put X and Pearl on 4K yet? Why do we not have these on 4K? They would look beautiful on 4K. You did Everything Everywhere All at Once on 4K. Like, why do we not have these on 4K? It doesn't really make much sense. Bodies got a 4K. Like, why do we not get X and Pearl on 4K? I'm trying to think of the one recently. Talk to Me just got a 4K. Like, you all do 4Ks on some of your horror titles. Hereditary got a 4K. The Witch got a 4K. Why don't you all, what are you all waiting for? Are you going to do like a special like 4K box set when Maxine comes out? Is that what you're waiting for? But I just don't get it. Put them out now. Like, why wouldn't you? X and Pearl through Lionsgate, put them out on 4K. We need them on 4K. But at this point, honestly, like, people would be pissed because they just bought these. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's get into this last one. And I'm sure you guys have been waiting for me to talk and bitch about this franchise this entire video. You're probably at this point thinking, Ken, why haven't you talked about these movies yet? What are you waiting for? And that is, of course, the first one has its anniversary next year, 40th anniversary, directed by Wes Craven. A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I brought over the entire box set right here because I am greedy when it comes to these films. I don't just want the first one on 4K. If that's the kind of bullshit that Warner Brothers is going to pull on us next year, if they're just going to put the first one out on 4K and that's it and be done with it, then I'm done. I'm out. I'm not even going to pick the son of a bitch up. I don't care. I want no less next year, okay? If Warner Bros. Is going to do it, I don't think that Scream Factory is going to do it anymore. You can go ahead and put that idea out. So you can go ahead and just throw that away. I don't think Scream Factory is going to do it. They almost had their shot, and Warner Bros. Pulled it back. For whatever reason, the only reason I can think of is they wanted to do it themselves. So if they just do the first one, I'm going to be pissed. And to be honest, I feel like that'll be so disrespectful. And I'm going to be so upset about that I'm just not going to pick that son of a bitch up. I'll probably pick it up anyway because I really want to see the first movie on 4K. But anyway, I want to take a stand though. I really do. We need the second one. We need Dream Warriors. We need Dream Master. Dream Master would look freaking incredible in 4K. So would Dream Warriors, to be honest. And the second one would look incredible. That bus scene in the beginning of 4K, are you kidding me? It would look incredible. We need the fifth one on 4K, and we need the unrated cut included in that as well. And Freddy's Dead. I would kill for Freddy's Dead on 4K. I love Freddy's Dead. I don't care what any of you people say. I would love Freddy's Dead on 4K. And Wes Craven's new Nightmare. We need every single Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I don't give a shit what anybody says on 4K. You know, they all have such creative visuals and set designs and costumes, and all of the movies need 4Ks. Like, they would all look incredible. Yes, Freddy's Dead will look incredible. Include the 3D version as well to make the 3D fans happy. And yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, all 7 of these movies. Now, what I'm afraid of is that next year, around this time probably, Warner Brothers is going to announce a Nightmare on Elm Street collection, and they're going to do what they did with Rocky. They're just going to put it in, they're just going to redo this. That's what they're going to do. And they're all going to be 4K, so at least we'll have them on 4K. But they're just going to redo it. No new special features. It's just going to be in this little packaging, probably not the exact same packaging, but it'll be this. And it'll have this little case. You know, it'll be just like this. At least you'll have each individual movie on each individual disc. It won't be compressed with 2 movies on each disc. Like, what is this bullshit? Like, this is the best we can hope for Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, the DVD set that I got sitting up there has individual discs. Like, why do we not get that with this? Like, you have freaking Nightmare 2 and 3 on one disc. You have Nightmare 4 and 5 on one disc. You have Freddy's Dead and New Nightmare on one disc, and then you got some special features on this other one. So I'm over it, guys. I am over it. Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the greatest horror films of all time. Freddy is one of the most iconic horror villains of all time. To me, it is the most ridiculous, and the most offensive as a physical media collector and fan that we do not have all of these movies on 4K, especially the first one though. Especially the first one. Why does that not have a 4K yet? It should have had one back in 2020, to be honest. Like, it should have had one back then. Halloween got one in 2018. It should have had one then. It should have had one then. It's ridiculous that it doesn't. We have The Invisible Maniac on 4K. I'm not trying to call these movies out. Maybe this one, but we have Bubba Hotep on 4K, and we have Seed of Chucky on 4K. I'm just trying to provide some context here, but we do not have a Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K. Wrap your mind around that one. It doesn't make any sense. Get your heads out of your asses, Warner Brothers, and put Nightmare on Elm Street, all 7 of them at this point. I'm not going to take anything less. I'm not going to take anything less than all 7 of them. One is not good enough. All 7 of them, we need it. And I'm done, guys. Look, this took a lot of energy. I'm tired. I'm frustrated, but I am tired, and I'm sorry that things got a little bit heated. I'm sorry that my language was a little bit too colorful, probably. But I know that you guys feel the same way that I do about some of these titles. You're as mad as I am. So it's, in a way, it was probably therapeutic for some of you. It definitely was for me. But thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications if you dare for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts where I can continue my bitching on other social media platforms that are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.